What's up everyone, hope you guys are doing great. You probably seen the title and was like, what is this video going to be about, and is this guy going to waste my time? And I'm here to say, first off, thanks for taking the time to give this video a chance, and second of all, to start off by saying everything we do in life has a meaning, and the things that we consume ourselves in, whether it's entertainment, news, the financial market, or anything else for that matters, either benefits or harms us in some sort of way. Pokémon is a series that has broken all kinds of records in terms of gaming, merchandise, television, and the list goes on. I'm a fan of this series, and as a writer studying the hero's journey, I was wondering what made Pokémon so successful and what made it last so long in comparison to other series. And I realized the people behind Pokémon took a simple approach to storytelling, while allowing the audience to imagine themselves in their story and play out the role of a hero going on a journey. As many of you are aware, the main character in this case is Ash. Now remember, the point of Ash's story is to travel and learn about Pokemon while collecting gym badges to eventually win the regional Pokemon League. The formula for each series is the same, but I'm going to be focused on the original series and the game that's centered on the Indigo League. First things first, Pokemon is a spiritual story and based on you, the individual. In the game, you start off with Professor Oak telling you the rules of the world and what Pokemons are. Oak, in this case, would represent your higher self, all the wisdom and knowledge gathered from all your past lives, while your lower self would be the avatar you create, or Ash, in this case, that lives in the physical world. At this point, after you create your name, gender, your rival's name, etc., you then wake up in your mother's house or the physical world. For those familiar with the reincarnation idea, the portion I just mentioned would be the bit where your memories are wiped and you start off in the physical world having to relearn everything again. Pallet Town is an interesting name in the beginning, since the Indigo League and the region itself is all about color, and that your journey beginning from Pallet Town, you would go on a quest to fill your Pokédex while collecting gym badges. All the while, the canvas that you're painting starts to fill with all kinds of color due to the people you meet, the obstacles you face, and the journey in itself. Pallet Town, or any of the towns that you start off in the game, represents the root chakra. And just to explain the chakras real quickly, in basic terms, man has 7 basic forms of chakra, ranging from the crown chakra all the way to the root chakra, and each representing an inner source of energy going through the body through each point, and depending on what the individual is centering his energy or intentions on depends on the chakra that's being focused. For example, the crown chakra is located at the top of your head, that deals with wisdom, knowledge, and consciousness. The root chakra being located at the base of our spine, and like the rest of the 6 chakras, is an energy source, and the energy goes where your intention is focused on. In particular, the root chakra focuses on the areas in our life like survival, material wishes, fear, etc. This is a common trait that we all share as human beings, such as our range of emotions and thoughts centered on either the past or towards the future, and speaks to the commonality that defines our humanity. By starting off in Pallet Town, you learn the basics of the game, get your first Pokemon, and just as a side note, Pokemons, for those that want to know, are just extensions of ourselves. They represent our desires, wishes, hopes, etc., kind of like our emotions. Just look at the original 3. From Charmander, representing fire, which is your spirit, Squirtle representing water, which is your emotions and how you feel, and Bulbasaur representing your will, never forgetting your goal. And when you combine all 3, you as a main character, it's a blueprint for success. When you think about the gyms in Pokemon, the gyms represent the chakra system, with each gym representing different challenges to overcome, with each gym stronger than the previous ones and introducing more harder challenges than the previous gyms. I also want to make a note, if you remember in the original Pokemon series, And when you think about why the 8th gym is closed when you enter Viridian City for the first time, is due to the fact that Giovanni is the shadow self to Ash, in this case your avatar, because like all things there is good and bad, and Giovanni is supposed to represent someone who has started out with the right intentions as a Pokemon trainer before falling for world domination, a la, your Team Rocket. He's that obstacle in the game that you have to overcome. That also represents your root chakra, so Giovanni never really got out of the root chakra. And the same can be said about, your rival. He or she is just an extension of the main character, because he or she represents a different path to your journey, and they either serve as an example for you to learn from, or if you lose against them, you just have to get stronger and overcome that journey. And once you complete your 8 gyms and got your all the badges, and those badges representing your chakras, you have to journey towards the Pokemon League. But before you get there, there remains a huge obstacle in the form of Victory Road. Victory Road represents the dark before light theme, or the valley of death before you come out a new person. It's supposed to be a place that tests your will, spirit, and emotions, and if you succeed, you've earned the right to challenge the league. If not, you lose and try again. When you make it to the league, you think of the Pokemon League as your crown chakra. This is the place where you gain enlightenment and see yourself for who you really are, without all the facade, and that you realize it was you all along. The Elite Four, or in actuality the Elite 5, represent air, water, earth, fire, and lastly spirit. Spirit in this case would be the champion, but to be the champion, think of the journey you took to get there, all those hardships, all the difficulties that you had to endure. So it makes sense that it would be you at the end of it. At the start of the game, you are unaware of the world you are in, and you start off in your mother's house before starting your journey to learn who you are. And when you go on your journey, you gain wisdom and understanding. And your final place is facing the champion, who is none other than yourself, the God in you that before you were ignorant of, and we're calling it all kinds of names like guardian angel, higher self, the universe, God, Allah, Jesus, and the list goes on. And when you realize that, you get the end credit and are right back at your mother's house, but this time you know who you are, you know what you are, and simply the world opens up for you. You can travel any place that you want, and if you remember, I think you get a ticket to go on a ship that takes you to new lands, new places for you to visit, and it's all because of the work you've done, and it means that you've mastered yourself, you mastered your desires, you mastered your animal self. And the Pokemon story can be symbolized as just a hero's journey, but also your journey of self-discovery and mastery of yourself. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. In the future, I'll go into more details on some of the things mentioned in this video. Hope you guys stick around. Please like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your day.